Something's been on my mind for quite some time, and today we're going to get into some of that. And it's basically about culture and where has ours gone, and other examples of other cultures and why they're staying pretty strong in their culture, at least for now. And so it's going to be bottom line, we're going to talk about Christianity and the United States of America and our lack of culture. Obviously, we're a Christian nation. We're accepting of all religions, creeds, and all that. But we were founded upon, and the majority of us are Christian. That majority is starting to dwindle and dwindle and dwindle through time, much like the head coach said would happen way back when the New Testament was being written, or the Old Testament for that matter. So we're going to talk about why I believe Christianity has gone soft. And it's just gone soft. There's no real pretty way to put it. I don't really want to point fingers here or there as to the who's, whys, whens, and hows. It's just gone big old fat hairy soft. Well, the reality is that's because people just say they're Christian because they're Christian, so they suppose, or so they think. But do they go to church? Do they read the good book? Do they practice any type of religion whatsoever? Mostly no. And so no kidding. We're going soft. We don't even know what the Sam we're talking about. So we feel like we need to be all inclusive. We need to be all loving, and we need to be there for everybody all the time. We're soft. Okay, so we're pushovers. We just kind of turn a blind eye. That's not really what the head coach was about. You know, the one that carried his own cross and got nailed to it. That wasn't what he was all about. There's a few examples I'm going to throw at you here. Number one, he's pretty ticked off when he sees a bunch of folks in his temple doing some gambling and doing some trading and doing some selling, using the temple for what it's not supposed to be used for. It's a holy place. He gets pretty ticked off. So he sits there, he breathes deep, weaves a whip, and then opens up a can of whoop-eye on everybody in that temple and gets them out. Is that somebody that's passive? Is that a Gandhi-like character? No, that's not. That's the head coach himself saying, no, I'm not going to deal with this. Does that mean that he didn't love the people he was whipping out of his temple? No, of course he loved them. So that's why he tells stories like, okay, guy's on his way to fellow travelers on his way to somewhere, falls victim to a bunch of robbers and thieves and whatnot, and they beat him almost to death. A priest goes around him, so pretending he doesn't see him. Another fellow countryman of this fella that's been beat to half to death goes around him too, as though he's in a hurry. And then a bitter enemy of this person finds him and goes and has compassion on this guy because he's been beat to almost death, and goes and sets him up into a hotel or whatever they had back then, but it's similar to an inn, and pays for his fare there and addresses his wounds and, for all intents and purposes, saves this man's life. So, yeah, that's Christianity. We're to do the golden rule. Love the coach and love our neighbors. But that doesn't mean when we disagree with our neighbors that we go along with them. We can disagree with them. We don't have to go along with them. They might be very loud neighbors. They might even be annoying neighbors. They might even have belief systems or no belief system or whatever the case might be. But we have to at least be teaching these principles, the golden rule, in our homes, and make them part of our community and make them part of who we are and how we're going forward in life. And those are the types of things that America used to be. Okay, America used to be those people coming over from Europe so they could worship as they wanted to. They wanted freedom to worship the Almighty the way they wanted to worship the Almighty. That is why they came here. Okay? And when they came here and they got here, Mayflower got here, a bunch of boats, cruised on over, and they had this freedom, and they were grateful. And they looked at this awesome land that we live in here, and they were grateful. And they made something of it. They didn't ask for anything. They didn't ask for somebody to take care of them at eventide. There was no social security. There was an interesting philosophy back then. A man was to take care of himself and his family. And now a man and a woman were supposed to be engaged in doing good for the community and especially their families. That's what life was then. You take a peek around right now, it's still there. It's still there. That spirit, that American spirit is still there. But you got to look for it now. And we need to start spreading that. We need to start being that. Instead of being passive watchers of everybody else getting a little bit too loud, and so we'll just kind of chill out and let them be loud, but then, hopefully somebody else takes care of that. No, we're not in those days anymore. Stand for something or fall for anything. So that's pretty much what I wanted to rant about today. I'd love to keep doing this type of content. I enjoy thinking outside the box, and I especially enjoy reading any of your comments, whether they're agreeing with me or disagreeing with me. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Smash that like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe, let's follow, let's get into something big together.